Welcome back, everybody. I just released a video the other day on the Pixel 3 XL, and it was a long-ass video, man. I mean, if any of you guys watched it, you know it was freaking long. And I didn't want it to be. I wanted to try to make it as short as I could, but the Pixel 3 XL, there's just so much information on it. I couldn't go any shorter than what I did. So, I decided, because I didn't get everything on it that I wanted to get on it, we're making video number 2. Now, this video here is going to be strictly on the 3 cameras on this device. It has 2 front-facing cameras and 1 rear shooter in the back. And the technology behind these things is freaking phenomenal. So when we come back, we're going to dive right into these cameras. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You hit that notification icon to get a notification of my videos as soon as they're released. That way you don't miss any of them. Alright, what do you say we go ahead and dig into this? First thing I want to get out of the way is, I'm not going to use any external mics on this review. I want you guys to know what it sounds like just out of the cell phone's microphones built in. This device has issues whenever you plug in an external mic. It's got clicking noises, and I think I figured it out. And Google, if you're, of course Google's not watching my videos, my God. But what's going on is when you plug an external mic in, the device is going full bore. So the gain is, for some reason, just turned up completely, and I mean completely. And what's happening, it's overpowering the system, and you get a lot of clicking and stuff like that. It just sounds terrible. I mean, you definitely want to turn your speakers down if you are running with an external mic, and then you go to watch the video that you just recorded. So I think that's the problem. So Google, you need to work on that. If you can get the preamp to turn down the gain coming in on your external mic, I think that's going to make a difference. I think that'll fix it. Of course, I'm not an electrician. I'm not a coder, so, you know, I don't know 100% sure. I'm just guessing out of my asshole, just like everybody else. But, I mean, it seems to be right. And the way I figured this out is when I go into Shotcut or any of my editing programs and I try to get rid of that clicking noise or minimize it, the first thing I notice is the volume is just off the chart. I have to lower it by, you know, minus 15 or minus 20 dB just to get it to sound, you know, halfway decent. So that tells me right there that the input, you know, gain is just, you know, it's not right. And you can't change that in the video settings. So that's the first thing I noticed. So, oh guys, I decided to do the video outdoors today. It's such a beautiful day. It's around 35 degrees. I just wanted to do it outside. And this is going to give you guys a good idea of just how this camera looks outside. I am shooting this in 4K, 30 frames per second right now. I will shoot 1080p, 30 frames per second, let you guys see how that looks. I just wanted to go over some quick camera specs. Now, the rear shooter, the one that you guys are looking at me at right now, that is a 12.2 megapixel sensor. And yes, I'm reading off my tablet here. Okay, the main camera, again, I've already went over all these specs in my last video, but again, guys, I wanted this video to be specifically on the 3 cameras on this device because they're so unique. I had to make a separate video just for that. Okay, the main camera is a 12.2 megapixel. It's a f1.8 aperture on that, which is pretty good. That's pretty wide. It does have OIS. And when I say OIS, I mean it has optical image stabilization, meaning that the lenses actually move around inside the camera body or the phone's body to stabilize it that way. And it also has electronic or digital image stabilization. So those two combined is what gives it that hyper image stabilization like the GoPro 7 has, the GoPro 7 Black has. Okay, it has a dual LED flash, and auto HDR with panorama.
and that's HDR plus. Now the front-facing cameras, there are two of them. They are both 8 megapixel. The one is an f1.8, 28 millimeter wide. That is the wide-angled one, and then the other one is just a standard 8 megapixel f2.2. So those are pretty much the only specs I wanted to go over as far as the camera goes. So the front-facing camera has two cameras in it. One will give you a very close, cropped-in image like most people are used to using with their selfie cameras, and the other one will actually crop out really, or will go out really wide. You could actually get a bunch of guys behind you, all your friends, your buddies, and do a selfie and get them all included in with the picture. So that's pretty cool option that comes with the camera. Google's cameras kind of work together, where if you want to have that wide angle, it's got a little like a little magnifying glass in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and if you touch that, it'll bring up a little dotted line where you can slide up and down a scale, where you can make it small or you can make it large. I usually just hit the minus sign or the plus sign, and it goes up in quarter increments, and when you hit the plus sign, that widens it out, or no, that brings it in because it's magnifying it. So that's switching it to the camera's standard, or the phone's standard camera. And when you hit that minus sign, it takes it out, in quarter steps, and that switches over to the wide-angled lens. The wide angle works in video mode just the same way. The only problem is when you go to use that while you're videoing, you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want it in wide angle, or do you want it in a narrow perspective before you hit that record button? Because once you hit that record button, it won't let you change it after that. All right, I switched over to 1080p. And this is 1080p, 60 frames per second. So this is what you're going to see in 1080p with this camera's front-facing shooter. And of course, this is the audio on it. Audio test 1, 2, 3. Again, guys, I think the video quality on this camera is outstanding. What I'm going to do is switch to the front-facing camera. Let you guys see what that looks like. And then I think we're going to do a vlogging, walking around, so you guys can see the image stabilization on this. All right, guys, this is the front-facing camera. We are shooting in 1080p, 30 frames per second. Now, this is the wide-angled view, just so you know. Now, even when you have it in the normal view, or the normal mode, it's actually got a pretty good stretch on it. You can see the river behind me. This is the West Branch Susquehanna River, and of course the mountains over there. I just wanted to go outside. I just thought this was such a nice day. I would love to be able to hook a nice internal microphone up to that. But again, guys, this video is for you guys to be able to tell what you're going to get when you purchase this without purchasing anything else. No external microphones, nothing like that. And if you wanted to take video, this is going to give you an idea of what those videos are going to look like, and what this camera is going to do for you, or what this phone is going to do for you. So right now, we're going to go ahead and switch into the narrow mode as opposed to the wide angle. And you have to do that before you hit the record button. Okay, so this is right in the middle. So when you press this button, I'm not sure, but I think it's using both cameras. I think it uses both cameras anyways. Don't quote me on that. But right now, I'm like right in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push it one more time. I'm going to hit that plus button one more time. It's going to really crop it in, and that would be your standard selfie camera. So let's go ahead and zoom way in. All right, I'm now at the smallest setting that you can get, or the closest setting you can get. Now this is your standard selfie mode without the wide angled view. So again, this is 1080p, 30 frames per second. You guys can, see what it looks like. You can hear the audio on it. Again, audio test 1, 2, 3. Audio test 1, 2, 3. All right, what do you say we do some vlogging? All right, here we go. Just damn near knocked over my tripod. Okay, guys, I am on the front-facing camera, kind of doing like a vlogging setup. I have my camera set up on like a little tripod that I actually have attached to my body. That's probably making it worse. So this is basically how you would be holding it, walking, and I'm trying to walk as fast as I can. And remember, guys, I'm walking with a cane, so plus I have a hell of a shake. Oh, I hear the train behind me. And I can't spin real fast, but
I mean, this is what you're going to get if you're going to use the phone for vlogging. Now, Google did not come right out and say that they were going to put hyper image stabilization technology in the Google Pixel 3. When they were talking about the release and, you know, the technology that was going into this camera way before they released it, they were saying that Google's AI technology, they said it was going to completely change the way camera makers, you know, went ahead in the future with building their cameras in order to catch up with Google, because Google uses both, like, you know, the image stabilization with the camera lenses itself and, of course, their intelligent image stabilization together. And with those two combined, you just get a really, really smooth image. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the wide view now. Okay, we are now on the wide view, and again, this is a nice thing for those of you that want to vlog, that Google did this, because now you don't have to hold the camera quite so far away from your face to get, you know, your whole upper body into the picture. I'm not going to keep you guys forever with this, so I do want to switch to the front camera and do some walking around, panning, so you guys can see that image stabilization. So again, this is the wide-angled view on the front-facing camera. Vlogging test, audio test 1 2 3, audio test 1 2 3. All right, I am in 4K, the front-facing camera. So I'm just gonna walk with the phone in my hand. And again, remember, guys, yeah, I walk with a cane. I'm trying to walk as fast as I can with this cane too. So, but I'll do some panning. There's some geese way down there. You can't see it. Maybe I'll break out the other cameras and zoom in on them. And I'll tell you what, guys, I shake really, really bad too. So ever since I had that damn stroke, man, of shaking like a dog pooping razor blades, I can imagine that. Ouch. Okay, so this is 4K. Giving it the image stabilization test. It's a nice little park. This is Hannah Park in Lock Haven. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch to 1080p, let you guys see the image stabilization on that. All right, we are now shooting in 1080p, and I am walking again. Again, I'm using my cane, so the camera has quite a challenge. I keep calling this a camera. It is a cell phone. Cell phone has quite a challenge. There is the park sign on the bathroom, which are closed for the season because it's winter. There's my truck. So you guys can see, I mean, I can see on the screen that it's really smooth. I mean, it's buttery smooth. I could just imagine if I was jogging or running, it would be cutting a lot of the shake out. Let me walk over to the guardrails real quick and let you guys see the river and the mountains. What a view. Wouldn't mind having a house right here, up high enough where it wouldn't get flooded. Okay, I think that concludes the front or the rear facing camera, or the main shooter on it, and I think we're going to go ahead and close this video up. Alright, my fingers are freezing. I think I've been out here long enough, even though it's a beautiful day. Man, it's freaking cold. Alright guys, this should give you an idea of the 3 different cameras on this phone, how good they are, what they do, how to use them. If you guys have any questions, feel free to, drop a post down in the bottom. I read every single post that is made on every one of my videos. So if you guys post and you have a question, I'll answer it. Those of you that might be new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification right next to it. That way you get notifications of any new video I may put out. That way you don't miss any of them. I do want to thank all of my subscribers, especially those of you that's been with me from the beginning. I really do appreciate it. It just makes it all worthwhile. And that's pretty much all there is. I'll see you guys on the next video.